Hi, I'm Steph, and welcome to Online Yoga School. Today we're going to do Dandasana, staff pose. So you'll need a blanket, and let's hop on the mat and jump to it. So in Sanskrit, Danda means staff or stick. And I like to think of the spine, this space from the tailbone up through the crown of the head as a stick or as that staff. So beginning an easy pose, we're going to extend the legs out one at a time. And then pause right there and notice what happens. If you have tight hamstrings like I do, you may find that just coming into this posture pulls the pelvis into a little bit of a tilt and causes some rounding in the low back. If that's the case, you can get your blanket, even a block or a stack of blankets, and you can lift up. So bring the sit bones onto the blanket, and that's going to help to tilt the pelvis forward a little and take some of that unhealthy pelvic tilt out. So from here, we're going to reach behind us and move all of the fleshy stuff out of the way so that the sit bones can really ground down into the earth or the support beneath us. And then let's extend the legs long. And we don't actually want to hyperextend the knees. So the tendency here is to want to press the knees down like a force into the mat, and that's not what we want to do. We actually want to think about flexing the feet first and press down through the heels, and then roll the inner thighs down. And I like to manually take my hands and bring them onto my legs and roll the inner thighs down. And then right here through the belly, if you notice a little compression, you can always kind of scoop the low belly and lift the belly out of the thighs so that you can get rid of that compression and then release. So from here, we're pressing down into the heels and we're sitting up nice and tall. So there is an engagement in the belly. The feet are flexed. We're not hyperextending through the knees. We're going to engage the belly and lift the belly. The tailbone is slightly tucked. The shoulders are right over the hips. So there's this sense of that staff, that stick, if you will, of our spine. And it's going from the base of the tailbone all the way through the crown of the head. So just imagine a stick here. So if the head is forward or we're popping the ribs, we don't have that stick. Tuck the ribs in slightly. Keep the chin tucked just slightly so that the neck is in line with the spine. And then the hands are going to come out to the sides, and we're going to press down through the fingertips actively to lift. So there's this sense of lifting. And if you're having trouble feeling the lift, sometimes you can manually just take your fingertips, bring them kind of under your arms, and lift from that place and feel that physical lift of the chest. So after you get that lift, think about opposing forces here. Right? And in yoga, we have that a lot, that sense of something is rooting down. There's this anchor in every pose, and then there's something else that's lifting or that's moving away from the anchor. So in this posture, we're rooting down in the sit bones. We're rooting down through the heels, and the thighs are spiraling down. So there's this anchoring down energy in the low body, and then the upper body is lifting away, kind of taking flight, lifting away without popping the ribs and going into a spinal extension. And then we root down through the hands, the fingertips, lift the chest, the gaze is straight ahead, and notice what it is that you're feeling in this place. Now, if the knees are causing you, if the straightening of the legs is causing you to have rounding of the back, even with the support underneath, you can put a little bend in the knees here as you're just starting. So you can bend the knees a little bit and see if that changes things. See if that gives you more length in the spine. And as you practice, you slide the heels out a little more. Maybe it doesn't all happen in one day, but eventually the legs will work towards straight. So this is a really important foundation pose in yoga. And a lot of times, I think we think of staff pose as being like super easy or really unnecessary, not something that I need to practice. You know, like I know how to do staff pose. That's super easy. It's not going to make me sweat or challenge me, but it actually is a very challenging posture if you're practicing correctly. Now, another thing you can do, if you felt like you had the support underneath you and you still didn't get the lift you need, double up your blanket And notice how that changes the posture for you. And I would say, even if you think you don't need any support at all in this pose, try it and see what happens. And again, we'll move the fleshy stuff away from the sit bones so that the sit bones can root down. Press down through the heels. And then try to not hyperextend through the knees, but rather press down through the heels. Manually rotate those thighs inwards and down. And lift the belly. Lift, lift, lift through the chest. Take a slight tuck of the chin. And the gaze is straight ahead. And then fingertips come out to the side. Shoulders are back and down and stacking right over the hips. And notice if having a little bit more support underneath changes things for you. Thank you for practicing staff pose with me. Let me know how it went for you in the comments. I love to hear your feedback. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel so you can get notified when we post more videos like this to the Yoga Foundation series. Namaste.